Hey guys! I will show you today how to make a very short boiling line animation using the Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. You can use any other software to prepare the initial drawings, or you can use no software at all, just hand draw it and scan it afterwards. But since Illustrator is one of my favorite programs, I have selected it for the purpose of this video. So as you can see on my screen, that's Illustrator. I have prepared the initial drawings on layers. I have slightly edited it by moving the anchor points. Very, very subtle movement and very little edit I have done on that. And I'm using the layers so to see how exactly this is going to look when it moves and when I animate it. You can see it here, I'm switching on and off. I just want it to be very, very light. So the concept of the boiling line animation is just you have two frames of the very same illustration and drawing with a very light difference in between, like the line is slightly shifting. And I've prepared both of these, and then just for an extra, I don't know, surprise element, I have created a third frame. So to make the animation a little bit more fun. So I have prepared this as a post for my Instagram, but I will show you now how to create a different size of the video for YouTube. I'm going to start with resizing my initial frames because it's easier to adjust them in Photoshop, and I'm copying them straight from Illustrator with the background. Because if I copy it without the background, the image slightly jumps and I have a hard time adjusting that. And I will slightly enlarge my frames. I'm selecting them all from here. Like that. Center. Then I will check if everything is in line. After I have done my adjustments, I will copy each layer separately with the background. I'll copy this in Photoshop. So in Photoshop, I will create the same size document, which is cat animation video 1920 to 1080, 72 dots, and then all right. So just copying everything with Command and A on a Mac and Control and A on a Windows computer, and then Command and C on a Mac and Command and Control and C. Control and V, you know guys how this works. I'm pasting it as a smart object because I created the same size canvas. It takes the size automatically. I will hide this layer. I will copy the second layer. I'm going to fast forward this. And I'm pasting them as a vector objects. So if I need some small adjustments, I can double click here and go directly in Illustrator and edit my graphics. That's way easier. I usually am very bad and I do not name my layers if I'm doing very quick animation, but just for you guys, I will do that now. So frame 1, frame 2, and frame 3. All right, so we have all of our 3 frames in Photoshop. I'm going to save my file just to be sure that nothing is going to get lost. Done. And here is the key moment. From the drop-down window menu, we can turn on the timeline. I'm using Photoshop CC, so you don't need the newest Photoshop out there. I mean, like, you can work with an older version. And there are 2 views, two different viewpoints of the timeline. That you can switch between. I think it's here, yes. You can do a video timeline and you can do frame animation. The video timeline, it's a little bit more advanced, but for this video, I'm just going to use the frame animation. The frame animation for me is much more fun because it's kind of like a stop motion type of thing, because you use just different frames and you play around with that. Though the timeline animation, the Photoshop timeline is really good and way more advanced. I can do a video about it in the future and show you guys. So here I'm going to create frame animation. It automatically creates the first frame, taking what is visible on the screen, taking all your layers that are switched on. I'm going to switch off these layers. I'm going to hide them, and you can see, yes, here is my first frame, the first frame of my video. This little icon here, it helps me to create, is the one that helps me to create new frames. Is used to create new frames. So I'm clicking on it and I will switch on the second frame. So here we can preview already our little animation. Just note that here this drop down menu says once. This is your video preview and it's going to play only once. You can put it on forever. It's just going to loop and you can see how this works. So here is actually how the animation works. If you want to slow it down a little bit, I mean, like, I think this is just a bit too fast. If you want to slow it down a little bit, you can click on the drop down. You can select both frames and you can click on the drop down and put 1 second distance in between the frames. So let's see how this looks. It's a little bit calmer. You can edit the timing, I mean, like, to whatever timing you want. So you can see here, you can do a custom timing. So I don't know, you can do it 0.5 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it on 1 second, 0.1 second, pardon. Okay, so I'm going to copy these 2 frames to make the animation a bit longer. And yes, I'm going to do this 6 times, and then I'm going to create a totally new frame and I'm going to switch on the third so-called surprise element, surprise fun frame here, and I'm going to see how this looks. It's too quick and we can't see the last frame, so I'm going to keep it for a little bit longer on the screen. Let's see how this works. Still not long enough. So I'm going to use custom timing and I'm going to do it for 0.4 seconds. Let's see how this works. Now that's a little bit too slow. I think 0.3 is our time. Yeah, perfect. So this satisfies what I wanted to create, but I want to make my video a little bit longer, because this is going to be around like 3 seconds, 2 seconds video. I want to create a loop, and I want to create a video loop that is a little bit longer. First, keep in mind that you can export this as a GIF image, which is really, really cool and beneficial if you are creating graphics for website or something that needs to be optimized. Though I want to create a video and I want to export a video, and since the videos do not auto loop, I want to make it a little bit longer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the frames and just click on this little button, and I'm going to duplicate the selected frames a couple of times. Let's make them until 60, so it's a little bit longer. All right, 84. And the next and final step is I'm going to file, export, render the video. And you can see if you have named your PSD file, your video is going to have the same title. And you can select the folder that you want to be saved. And you can select here the different settings of the video. I keep them as they are, But yeah, you can research online if you need something else, if you need a different type of settings and formatting. And yeah, I am going to just render the video. So we have the video ready. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know in the comments below if you have enjoyed this video or something was not clear. Subscribe and keep watching. Thank you.